Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the Young Voices Forum. I hope your day is going as amazing as mine is. And today, our conversation is going to center around women in politics. We are going to have a discussion with a youth advocate who has tested a bit of the political waters in the students' body settings, and we are going to find out the challenges and what happens at that front for them. This program is an initiative of Savana Signatures, and this is brought to you in collaboration with the Ghana SRHR Alliance. Also, it is supported by Simavi, SGS, and Gabby's Beauty Parlor. My name is Rahel Entry, and I'm having this conversation with Jennifer Temble. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
I hope you are good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Sorry, I'm blowing. Your money has come. They said there's money in student politics. They said there's money in student politics. So I think that's why you're glowing like that. Okay, so Jennifer, how do you see women's participation in politics?
Okay, so talking about how I see women's participation, I'd say it's very good. That's if the women are given the opportunity to do what they really want to do. And so naturally, I tell people women are born to be smart, and once you keep a woman in what you are doing, she will definitely add you ideas to spice up everything. Yeah. So talking about women in politics, I think it's a very good thing. It's just a matter of we giving the women the opportunity to make use of or to bring together little ideas to make things look more spicy and then good.
Okay, so if we say giving women the opportunity, does it it comes across to me like women are not supposed to be in politics? Is that how you feel about it? Because if you say we should give women the opportunity, it feels like no one really says we should give men the opportunity. So if you say we should give women the opportunities, it means it's like women are not supposed to be in politics. Is that how you feel?
Not really. So let's say women should be in politics. That's what I mean. And when I say we should give women the opportunity, I say so because most often when we find ourselves in certain places, people don't see the reason why a woman should be a leader. For instance, people don't see the reason why a woman should be the boss, while the man is the assistant. Yeah. And so that's the area I'm coming up from. And then I feel we should give them the opportunity to take the lead. And once you make a woman the leader and you give her the maximum support she needs, you would run affairs better than you could even expect.
Okay, so have you ever been in a position where you have to you've contested for leadership position before with males also in the race?
Not really.
Okay, you've not. Okay. But from the experiences of people in your network, have you seen a woman compete for something in the same race with men?
Yes.
So how was the experience like?
Okay, so coming to the experiences, most often I don't really like that experience because I feel many people don't see, or most guys don't see the reason why they should support a female. And to even worsen the case, it gets to a point by you see females not even supporting their colleague female to go through. Yes, the lady is capable. If you should push her, she would go there. But it's like, I don't know if I should use the word jealousy. Others feel, no, the guy should do it. I've found myself amongst people who feel, no, a guy should rather do this. Just as a team, and then they tell you, no, Jennifer, relax, let this boy do this. And they tell you, most often the guy leads, so why would he lead? And so like from that angle, I feel it's not really helpful. We should give people the opportunity and we should help them too. So it's not just about giving them the opportunity, but people should assist. And so in several cases I've seen such whereby females don't support, and I feel it's high time we take that off. It's good we support the women to do so. And once you support a woman to do something, trust me, everything is smoother than you could ever.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you think accounts to people not wanting to support women to get into leadership positions?
Okay, so one, I would say it's a lack of confidence. Some people, I would go to the men area again. Some men think women are not that capable when it comes to certain things. That's handling leadership roles. And I think when it comes to confidence, it's something that's so big. And most often we shouldn't always feel it is a man who is confident because a man is they say the landlord or so. women do better most often. Just that most of the women sit down and make the men come up. So a woman can even do something, but she makes it like, oh, it's my husband who did this. I've found myself in a lot of situations like that where I've seen people do so. The women do almost everything, but at the end, they give the glory to the man. And so people outside keep having that same mindset. Yeah, the man is the boss, the man is the boss. And so you get to a point whereby the woman can even do it, but they say, no, she doesn't have that confidence. I don't even have that confidence in her because I feel she can't do it. But it's because you've not really seen her do it. But all the time she does it and then puts the man in the face. The man should be the face, everybody should see. Another one I would say is, the other one I would say is pride. Most often, somebody can do something better than we can. But we feel, oh, why should this person do this whilst I am seated? So you feel like, okay, my lady shouldn't do this, but the guy should rather do that. And when it comes to women, most often pride is there, like even amongst friends. You know one person is capable of doing something, but we prefer to go and let another person do so. So an opportunity comes, for instance, let me talk about cooking aspects. You have a program, you know this lady can do this, but you feel like, why should she be the one to do this? You go and bring somebody external. You prefer to even go and pay the money to that person to come and do it for you instead of letting the woman to do it for you. And so just like leadership, the same thing. You might want somebody to stand as let's say a president, and then you feel like, oh no, this is my friend, yeah, nah. Then you go and bring somebody else. More, you know your friend is capable of doing it. So one I would say is also the pride. And then the other one I would also say it's a lot of self-awareness and then self-esteem. That one I would say it's from both the woman and also people looking at her. Because when you know yourself well, you do things better. And when you know yourself, even if they don't give you the opportunity, you sometimes try to do certain things that will let people from afar see you and know you are capable of doing this because you know yourself. And so when it comes to that area too, it assists or it helps. But I think that's one of the reasons why people don't really support women when it comes to leadership roles. And the other one I would also want to put on board is this gender stereotyping. We feel a woman shouldn't do this, a man should do this and all that. And it's not really helping. Many people say a woman's role isn't leadership. A woman's role is to sit in the house and then do certain things. And I've found a lot of friends, it makes me laugh most often. They tell me, hey, you are doing all this, but you get to a point, you're going to sit down, a man will marry you and you wouldn't do this. And funny enough too, I've met a lot of guys who tell me, I like you, but I'm not happy with what you are doing. Jenny, just stop all this, I'll marry you, then you sit down. Even though, yeah, all the time, I just say certain things to them. But I feel I am not the only person experiencing this. I've heard that from a lot of ladies who say the same thing. They say because they are in the leadership roles and all that, men seem to should I use the word, fear them. Yeah, some men fear them, and other men think, oh, you're a leader, and so what, you can't even do this. They try to compare. Yeah, so I think I'll just leave it here. There are more I could mention, but due to time.
Okay, so there is this assumption that when it comes to women, when women get into a position of power, they tend to be more mean, and they tend to mean is the word. They tend to be more mean. Do you think it's just something people say to make themselves feel better, or you think that is actually the case?
So with regards to that, I think it's not fair. Most often people think so, and not to blame them much. Other times I blame some women as well. They get the opportunity and then they mess it up. It happens in some cases. And
men mess up all the time. Don't you think that there is the moral scale for men and women actually differ? Because sometimes men mess up all the time, but no one actually says, oh, it's like we hold women to higher moral standard than we do to men.
So I'm actually relating this to women because we are talking more about women here. And so yes, men mess up all the time, but we think to see more of the woman messing up than the man would even mess up.
That's why I'm saying that. Don't you think that we're actually holding women to higher standards than men?
Sometimes. I don't really blame men all the time for, let's say, bringing up those standards. But I feel women most often bring ourselves so down. There are certain times we should also take ourselves that high. And so when it comes to instances whereby a man feels, okay, a guy should rather do this, a lady should do this. We the ladies sometimes pull ourselves backwards and we are like, okay, the man should go. And so if we can always stand on our toes and then we know that, yes, I am a woman, all right, I know what I want and I know what I can do. Even if the man is not giving the opportunity, go forward. Let them know you are doing this. And so there are times that I tell people, you are in a room together, then they say someone should do this, then quickly they would mention the person, go and do that. I don't always like it. And most often when I'm somewhere and then there's something and then quickly they say, Jennifer, do this. Other times I have to hide. Like, if I can't hide here, then fine, I would go and do it. But then I'll let you know I don't really like that. Because I feel we should give people the opportunity to do certain things too. And so just like from that area, I'm just talking about when women are even related. So they feel I should always do certain things. And it shouldn't be so. So imagine we find ourselves in a place whereby we have men mixed up. They wouldn't say, Jennifer, go and do this. They would find the guy to rather go and do that. When it shouldn't be so. It should be somebody you think can do that better. It should be anybody at all.
So don't you feel like when they say, Jennifer, go and do this, it's because they actually believe that you are good at what you are doing?
At a point. But it shouldn't be always. Like I said, okay. I feel sometimes let's give people the opportunity to choose what they want to do. So you can't always tell me, Jennifer, go and do this, and then I have to keep doing it. To me, I feel we are not giving some people the opportunity to do the same things too. Okay. And I feel we don't really know who can even do that better than Jennifer can do. So if you think Jennifer can do everything, so you say, Jennifer, come and do this. But now somebody can even do that better, and then the person will laugh. And most often I do that. If I find myself somewhere and then they're like, oh, this person should do this, I just and then I start to laugh within, because I feel like, oh, but this person should have done this. Like, I try to see that connection. It's not clicking. And so I feel, why not make it an open thing? Let people also show up to do so. Yeah. And so I think it's something the world has to really stand up for, especially women. Let's make sure our voice counts in certain instances. Let's not wait for people to always suggest who is coming to do this before we do that. Let's be able to make our voice count, because that's the best way to keep the world running.
Okay, so let's talk about women's participation in politics, and I'm limiting the conversation to student politics because that is your school. So for a woman that is vying for a position, can you walk us through some of the things that you think the person should take into consideration or do?
Okay, so first of all, I would say self-awareness. You should know yourself. That's very key. If you don't know yourself, and you don't know issues surrounding yourself, it's really going to be difficult for you. Because when it comes to leadership, let's say being a leader amongst men, unless you, the Holy Spirit, has just been good around you, that you find people and then you are easily walking through, most often it's not that easy. And I'm saying from more of my experiences, I've actually been in leadership with a lot of guys, from primary school till now, and even friends who have also been in leadership. And it hasn't been easy for them. So first of all, I would say know yourself. When you know yourself, nobody can intimidate you, because you know what you are standing for, and you know what you want to do for yourself as well. The other one I would say is know your standards. Aside know yourself, know your standards. You can know yourself, but you don't really know your standards, because you are just going, yeah, this is me, but the person says it, then feel you are standing. If you know your boundaries, I think nobody can really cross that. And that's something women who really want to go into leadership, whether political area or academic area, I think we really have to consider if we know our boundaries. And the other one is how we deal with people. How we deal with people, most often determine. So sometimes we go and then we are like, oh, this person is my friend. Then all the time the person is climbing on you. All the time the person is, and you can't even voice it out because you feel he is my friend. I don't want to make him feel bad. I don't want to make him feel sad. And so if you're able to stand on your toe and let the person know, you are my friend though, but this isn't right, I think it will take the person far. And then the other one, I would add up is the lady or the woman should know she's equal to the man when it comes to taking up leadership roles. A man is nowhere better than you. You, the woman, just have it at the back of your mind that you are far, far better. And most often, before I do certain things, I tell myself, oh, Jennifer, you're so marvelous. You're so good. I say a lot of wonderful things to myself before I even get to the spot. And so by the time I've gotten there, me now, I know what's in my head. Even when I get there, and then I'm beginning to feel a little bit nervous or so, I tell myself, Jennifer, you know what? There are lots of men here. Don't make them feel they are better than you. Don't let somebody sit somewhere one day and then tell you that, see, when they even brought a lady, she couldn't do this. They should have rather brought a man. And me, when it comes to men, women, I bluff a lot because I feel sometimes men deserve that. You should let them know you know what you are doing and you know what you want. And when they know that, they'll give you that respect and that support you would need. And then one I would also want to say is it's respect. And that's respect for yourself and also for whoever you are meeting. Most often, people seem not to respect, in quotes. And when I say respect, I'm actually making this a little bit larger. So not just about you greeting somebody all the time. I tell myself sometimes it's not a must to talk to somebody. Even though, yeah, we are good people. I talk to you all the time. Maybe I have wronged you, I don't even know. I'll try to find a way to get that sorted out. But it's as if you, the person, you've already made up your mind that you just don't want to talk to me. I feel sometimes people need space. But because we don't understand, we think it's just a matter of come and greet. You greet and the person will even bore you and add like, And so when you have that respect for yourself and knows for others, there are certain things that wouldn't really distract you in your line of leadership, and then you'll be able to go. And from leadership, from respect to, I think people can look at that too at a very large end. And so respect in the sense that when you are in leadership, let's look at how can I sort this out if something happens. Most often people jump the gun. We think, because he's my boss, let me just go straight to my boss. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes, it depends on who your boss is free with, and it depends on the situation. So for instance, an issue happened and then between you and your boss, you don't even know how, and then you think it's just a matter of come and sit your boss down and talk. It wouldn't click. You have to mind the way you do that. And talking about leadership again around guys, let me bring it to that area too. You find yourself in a situation whereby you are the only female. And trust me, if the Holy Spirit is just so good to you, maybe you will find it a little bit easy. Like not so easy though, but you might swim through a little. But hardly, I'm yet to see like let's say 10 or let me say 8 out of 10 with regards to my experiences and experiences of people I have known, haven't really enjoyed leadership because of the people they have found around them. And that's because most often we don't even know what we want. We feel like, okay, this my friend is going for this position, let me follow the person. Or maybe your friend is contesting for something. You feel, oh, she's my friend, let me support her. But you know the other person can even do that better. And instead of you supporting the person, sometimes speak the truth to your friend. Okay, why don't you go for this position instead? Try to help your friend assess herself when it comes to that area. And so in leadership, it's not just about ourselves, but we should be able to speak to people around us, that's people we are contesting with, choose better positions for themselves. Else you'd end up winning, and then the whole thing is like it's a mess because you are all doing either the same thing or you don't even know what you are doing. It's because this person is my brother, this person is my sister, then you are pushing going. And so in conclusion of all this, I would say for a lady or for someone to go into leadership, first of all, you should respect yourself. So respect, you can look at that from yourself and also from people.
I'm trying to understand how respecting yourself correlates with going for leadership position. Can you please touch a bit on that for me?
All right, so let me set an example.
Okay.
So for instance, I know myself, I know what I want. I want things related to women and children, and I feel that's the best place. That's where I find more joy in working. So one, I feel I have respected myself because that is what I want. So for instance, Rahel will tell me, if I have a job for you, and then the job is, let me say, the job is you're going to sit in a store, let me put it in that way. And so you are giving me a high offer. Let's say, okay, let me say you're giving me 100 cities, okay? And then my recent job, it has to do with women, children, and maybe they are just giving me 10 cities. So now, I'm going to disrespect myself because I feel like Rahel will give me 100 cities. So that's one area we can look from, you can connect to that. Because I feel I have disrespected myself. I know myself. I know what I do best. I know what keeps me going. But now I have disrespected my own self because I feel like I am following the money instead of the passion. And so when it comes to leadership again, when I talk about respecting, looking at it as a very large end, I feel most often we find ourselves in places, let me bring money issues or monetary issues. That's what most often keeps women at the back. And most often it pushes us in the corner. We have a lot of women who seem to be in for money more than voicing out. So most often men feel like she is a woman, she wants money. Then the man will just give you something little, then you are quiet, seated in your corner. And he does everything, he messes everything up. And at the end, when they are talking, everybody will be staring at you because they know that if not for anything, but you could have said something. And of late, I like the trend. Women seem to be standing up for themselves. Women don't seem to do more of the olden day stuff. We want the man to always take the lead. Even when something is wrong, you the woman, you are keeping quiet. And you feel like if I say, he will be angry. Even though he's your friend or he's your boss or he's your working mate. You feel if I should say this, he won't buy me lunch. If I should say this, he won't drop me off. But I think I've come to realize that the trend is changing in a way. Ladies now know, even if you won't give me a lift, maybe I could walk. On the way, I'll get lift. Or I could call someone to give me a like. And ladies have come to also understand that now the trend with regards to the men, men are changing in a way. They've come to realize that some of the men, let me say, not all the men, others still need education a lot. And so some of the men, when it comes to that area, so they know that, all right, sure, so this lady doesn't really like this. Let me just do accordingly. And then they go by that. So I think that's also the respect. If you stand on your toe, know that you respect yourself and respect what you are doing. Nobody can really intimidate you. And that alone, I feel, is a plus on you, on yourself. And when it gets to that stage, you do things that you don't really expect. And so let me bring myself to that area. I like women once again, and I like children, anything related to that. I found myself in a lot of places whereby sometimes I laugh, like I feel like, hey Mika, how did I get here? But it's because people know that, yeah, Jennifer respects herself. And if you're giving her anything that is far from women, children, something that has to do with interacting with people, no matter the class, it's going to be so hard for Jennifer to do. And so they feel like, oh no, this one day, if we give her, it won't work. Even if it will work, she doesn't want it. And so they give me something that they feel would help me. And so most often in my roles, when it comes to leadership, I find it a little bit easy because even though fine, my team wouldn't give me this, people from different teams give me certain things. And that alone I can say is a plus. So if today you tell me that, oh, you even gave this position, she couldn't do this, I will tell you that I couldn't do this, maybe not because of this. Even if I don't want to tell you the reason, I'll ask you, if I couldn't do this here, why do you think I was able to do that here? So if you're somebody who is that reasonable, you'd be able to connect both. Then you know that sometimes the team in which a lady found herself doesn't help her use the power she has. And so like we have to respect ourselves so the people around us would respect us as well. That's just something that I feel is so big when it comes to leadership role, no matter the place, whether academic or a political role or so. If you respect yourself and respect what you are doing, you'd really go fast.
Okay, so another thing I want to know is what are some of the challenges that women that go into leadership positions or are vying for political positions, what are some of the challenges you think they face?
Okay, so first of all, I would say abuse. And as we know, you can really look at abuse on a larger scale. So one can be verbal abuse, another one can be their useless touches and all that. But first of all, I would like to talk about verbal abuse, which I feel really hurts more. Most often, ladies tell me, for you to even use your mouth to say something to her, it's better you use your hand to hit her buttocks, so that she knows that you've abused her, but in a more reasonable way. Because even though, yes, not that fine, but it's better than telling her something that would really affect her afterwards. And so when it comes to leadership, most often verbal abuse is used, depending on the people you find. Even you can respect yourself, then you men don't see a reason why they should respect the woman to that area. So they feel, oh, I can tell her anything, she's a woman, she will take it. So that's one thing I want females to know, they would always find, no matter what. Even in our daily life with people, they will still say certain things to us, things they can't even say to their colleagues. They feel you a woman, they will throw it to you. Another one who I would want to talk about is still on the abuses. They touching certain things. A guy would, sexual harassment. A guy might not really touch his colleague when it comes to that area, but you, the female, he think it's normal. He will come and hit your buttocks, he will come and touch your breast, he will even say certain things to you, and then you feel like, but this. Yeah, so that's one thing people have to look up for. And with regards to the sexual abuse, I would like to talk more, say something more about that too again. When most often in leadership, you realize that if the bosses are not abusing you or trying to abuse you, then maybe something is clicking somewhere. Then maybe you, the Holy Spirit, I would keep using the Holy Spirit because most of it doesn't really happen unless the place is somewhere everybody respects. Because when they respect you for that matter, like they wouldn't really try to do anything like that. But you find ourselves in a lot of places whereby.
So are you saying that it's because they don't respect women, that is why they are harassed?
Yes, I feel so.
So like women that you feel like people respect them are not harassed?
So
Because I feel like sexual harassment doesn't really, it's not about the person it's being done to. It's about the person that is doing it. So I don't think it has anything to do with not respecting, people not respecting you. Like, it just depends on wherever you find yourself.
Okay, so let's say, let me make this a little bit practical, okay? I found myself in a lot of places whereby me, I would say I respect myself. I know what I'm doing. I know what I stand for. People around me know, yes, she respects herself. She knows what she's standing for. But they don't see anything wrong with come and then hit you.
Exactly.
And so from that angle, not as in you the person, you don't respect yourself, but that person doesn't respect you. Yeah,
so I just wanted to make it clear that sexual harassment actually has nothing to do with the person is being done to.
Yes.
It's the person that is doing it that is the problem, not the person is being done.
Most often, even though sometimes some people call for it. And I would say so because I have found myself in places whereby certain people do, and I tell them, hey madam, tomorrow he will do this to you and you wouldn't like it. Ladies seem to joke sometimes. We do certain things and we all laugh over it. And tomorrow the guy will do it and you can't even say thing. I've had friends, we used to joke like that, but because to your point, I just told myself, madam, if you don't stop this, one day the guy will do something and you just can't say anything. And I've found that a lot in leaderships too. We just joke, we mention parts, we touch and one day the guy will, and then you start to you just don't know what to tell the person. But with that, I feel you called for it. If we didn't make it feel normal to him, we wouldn't have tried it. But other times I'd say people most often abuse women when they shouldn't really do so. Because sometimes the woman might be that cool with you, but it doesn't mean she wants you to do something to her. And so it's just a matter of we respecting ourselves and respecting the interest of the other person before we can do certain things.
So I just want to say this. I don't think that sexual harassment is anything that someone would actually call for. I think if we say that sometimes when it comes to sexual harassment, people call for it, we are victim blaming, and SAVSIGN TV doesn't condone victim blaming. I don't think that there's ever a time where sexual harassment, someone can actually call for it. It just happens. It doesn't matter who is involved. No one just, because sexual harassment is very uncomfortable. Yes. So I don't think any woman or any lady would say that, oh, I'm here, sexually harass me. So if we say that, oh, sometimes they call for it, that is we making excuses for the perpetrator. You get it.
So you see, here we are not really saying as to everybody calls for it.
Yeah, you said some. I get it. But I feel like it's on all forms. No lady actually calls for sexual harassment.
So I think from here we should rather be educating people to know their stance and do that better. Because sometimes you don't really know I am a guy's person, so cool with guys. Guys say a lot of things to me and we all laugh over it. That's because they feel so comfortable around me. And so some guys tell me, hey, this person is even trying me. And funny enough, the lady might not really even know she's trying the guy. And so in a case like this,
trying someone. Okay.
So
go on.
So in a case like this, you the lady, the guy would one day sexually harass you, and then you'd be like, he has harassed me. But the funny thing is, if you had really kept your stand, you wouldn't really get to that point. And so I think it's high time ladies know their stand, and the guys too. If the lady is doing something you are not so comfortable around, let the lady know. Let's not pretend over it and one day it turns to something else. And like you said nobody calls for it. But when somebody calls for it, it doesn't really turn to a harassment again. Because it's not like an agreement. I want it, come and do me, and we are done. Let's have fun, we are done. Yeah. And so if you know your stance, like I said, you wouldn't really do that. And it's high time ladies to mind how we do certain things. And it's high time guys also mind how they react towards ladies. And when it gets to that point, I don't think we would really have more of chances whereby people would harass themselves sexually, or some people would harass themselves sexually. Although some people, they just do it with their own reasons.
Okay, so if you just joined us, it is the Young Voices Forum, and today we are discussing women's participation in politics, and we have a youth advocate, Tembele Jennifer in the studios, and we are having a conversation on that. But before we continue, you can leave your comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section. You can also share the video so that it gets to a lot of people, so that we can all benefit from the discussion, because there are a lot of very interesting things going on here. Jennifer is actually saying a lot which can benefit a lot of people. So I'm giving away my first airtime, which is Vodafone, and you know I am Madam Christmas. I always make Christmas coming every it doesn't matter the month. I just make Christmas come anytime I'm on the Young Voices Forum. So I'm giving out Vodafone airtime. Fastest fingers. When you get it, please do indicate it in the comment section. If you get it and you don't indicate it in the comment section, I won't say anything. So the numbers are as follows: 10657388146045. 10657388146045. If you are able to get it, please indicate it in the comment section for me. And we are still continuing the discussion. We are talking about women's participation in politics and all of that. So the conversation continues. Apart from sexual harassment, I think we're talking about some of the challenges women face, and then we mentioned sexual harassment. What else do you think that women that are always going to leadership positions, what are some of the challenges they face?
So another one I would say is fear. Most often, women fear. I don't really know men, but I can talk about the women aspect. We have women who fear so much. So they've gotten the opportunity to do, or it's something they can easily pass through, but they are scared. They start asking themselves questions, can I really do this? What if I mess up? It's like we are now trying to impress people instead of going to do the work as we are supposed to really do so. And so once you are scared of what you are coming to do, you would end up messing up, because like you are being careful. And one thing I tell people, especially when I go to talk to people, I tell them, me coming here, I know what I'm coming to tell you. Maybe you've given me a topic. It's around women, it's around this. But what I'll say to you first, second, third, depends on me. I know how I'm going to do so. And so I might decide to even give you the first one, then come from the third, come from the last. As far as advice, that is it. And so that's one thing I would want to say, it's fear. Most women, they seem to fear. And talking about positions now, we realize that we have a lot of positions. So let me bring to the NASPA area. So we have the president, vice president, secretary, organizer, women's commissioner, secretary, and then the financial secretary. Funny enough, the constitution of NASPA, even a guy can stand, or a man can stand for the position of a women's commissioner. It's not really closed for only females. But hardly do you see a female coming up to say, I want to be the president, I want to be the vice president, I want to be the this. So we think it's always about following the women, following the women. A lady recently contacted me and said, Jennifer, I want to take over you from the district level. Then when I get to the regional, I want to be women's commissioner. And I laughed. I told her that, Madam, please follow your heart. Don't say because Jennifer has been the municipal women's commissioner and now she's the regional women's commissioner, I want to do the same thing. I told her that I have the passion and the interest for women and children. And so I felt like, fine, I would easily sail through there. And that's where my energy would be needed more. Even though, yeah, I could be a president though, and then I would still do certain things, but that would be like, I am pushing more of the activities on women, children. If I should be a president, that one I wouldn't like. And so if I'm a woman, I know I am actually engaging my colleague women. And she made me laugh. She says, no, I hear presidency and then vice president's position is very difficult. It's only for guys. And I was like, madam, so what's your own? And funny enough, she told me that, and can't you see those who are contesting? And I asked her, is it a campaign you can't do too? Of late, the trend has changed. Yeah. People are supporting women. And I told her, but then you either go for president or vice president. She said no. I tried, like, just to let her know that, madam, you're very good at the women area. And I know her better. So I told her you would be best at either the presidency or the vice president's position. Because you don't have the connection much with women. I tried my, but she still felt like, no, you were women's commissioner and people liked you, so I want to go there. So now let's find out. Let's put on the table. You realize that most women find themselves in around that same thing. So now she's scared to go for either presidency or vice president's position because she feels it's a very big position. But me, I don't really see it to be so. I feel any position you get, it depends on how you want to really make it. And it depends on the number of people who are there and how supportive they are to you. You could even perform better if you are a financial secretary, depending on the kind of people that are supporting you. Yeah. And so fear, I would say, it's one of the challenges. And the other one I would want to say is, should I use the word by trying to impress? Most often we think it's about impressing your boss, or it's about impressing people around you or people who took you there, instead of really doing the right thing. And most often we forget that when you do the right thing, you get a lot of opportunities out of that. So fine, you get yourself, let me bring myself in here again. I found myself in positions whereby everybody feels like, well, see what she's doing. We want you to do it this way. I even find bosses who tell me, hey Jennifer, here we do it like this, and I tell you, please, then I prefer to sit back. Do it so people know Jennifer wasn't part of this. I would let the people know that this is not the right thing. I found myself in a team whereby we mess up. And funny enough, people say, but you are supporting us. Are you not supposed to be part of this? Yeah. And I tell you, I am supporting you because I know what's right. And you brought us here. And so there are certain things we should do, not because we are trying to impress others. And so most often, I feel women impress, or some women impress. So we know they are supposed to do this, but they wouldn't really do that because they want to impress. Maybe say my boyfriend bought me, I want to impress my boyfriend. I want to impress the boss, so next time he'll take me here. He'll do this for me. And so those impressions, like, it doesn't really help with the women, but it closes our opportunities, which I would always say to people. But if you stand on your toes and know you want to really do this, sometimes it gives you more opportunity, better opportunity than if you are even trying to impress somebody else. Yeah. And especially from that angle, women or some ladies think it's always about impressing the men they are working with, or the men in some corners. But the funny thing is, those men, it won't click. As a woman, if you know your stand and then you stand very well, and you do your work perfectly well, the men would even push you farther than you could even expect. And I wouldn't lie, as of now, I work with a lot of men. And when little opportunities come, they feel like, okay, Jennifer, we think you'd be best here. What do you think? They wouldn't force that to me because they know I wouldn't do that. I might be young, but I know my stance. I know what I want. And I don't seem to impress people that much too. Unless maybe it's a jovial thing, we all joke around it. Even though sometimes you have to impress somebody too. But we should make sure that when we are impressing somebody, it's not something that is punishing we ourselves. Know what you want, happy yourself too in certain cases, especially when it comes to leadership, and not really impressing others. And challenges, there are really a lot. Alright, so another challenge I would want to put on board is woman getting the opportunity to do certain things. So now I've really found, let's say I actually had the opportunity to interact with people, even my auntie Hajia Ali Masagito, and we were talking, she was like, Jennifer, you've never been down there. I was like, hey auntie, you think it's easy? Then she was like, I said, no, it hasn't been easy. She was laughing, and funny enough, she could have told me from the beginning, hey madam, this place you are going, you wouldn't really get the opportunity to do this, because it has a political linkage. But it's like, she thought, oh, my girl can do it, she should go and try it. And so we sat, and then I was telling her, I want to do this, but it's not easy. Nobody's supporting me. And it was very difficult. Funny enough, I ended up doing the thing, not even with the people support. It was like a corner support, different people. And at the end, I was the face of it. I even had external people standing in place, and we did the thing. And at the end, the glory went to them. But the few people who knew that, yeah, we actually did everything from scratch by ourselves, that I know hasn't really ended there. And I'm very confident that we are still going to get a lot of opportunities out of that behind the scene work we did. And so if you're a woman, you think you are going to always find it that easy, most often it's not really like that, because the men wouldn't really give you that easy chance. They feel the decisions should sometimes come from them and not you, the woman. But it's a matter of you, the woman, pushing to get that done. And when it comes to leadership too, I would want to say something around how a woman can also run around the game, or can also play in the game to make your work better. And if you can't do something, like I said, I took position whereby I couldn't, like I told you, there was a point whereby somebody say, why did you couldn't even do this, I were able to do this here. I feel that's one thing women have to really put at the back of their mind. Although, yeah, we are not so happy because the men are not, some men are not really giving us more of that chances to make our voices heard when we are found on a table. I think women should also think outside the box. So they should know that, okay, even if the man is not giving me the opportunity to do here, this, as we are seated here, why don't I do that somewhere else? So tomorrow, if somebody should open their mouth to say anything foolish, I can tell the person that, Charlie, I couldn't do this here, but I was able to do that here. Compare both and tell me what was wrong with what I did over here. Like, let the person know that it's not that you are not just capable, but you didn't find the right team. And most often, women suffer it. People tell women they are not capable, not because the women are not capable, but because they feel the woman hasn't really done what they expect her to do. And they think it's that easy because you voted a woman as a president, you voted a woman as a, she should go and do that. Yeah. If the team is not supportive, it wouldn't go anywhere. And so if you can't get that done within your own team, try to do that somewhere else. Not for anything reason, but just as a reference. If tomorrow somebody says this, tell the person, I couldn't do this here, but I was able to do this here. I most often like that so much, but I feel like, yeah, people know, yeah, you are capable of doing this. But it's left us to them to answer it as to why wasn't she even able to do this. Let them worry their brains. You know you've done your part, and just keep moving. And so when it comes to leadership, there's actually a lot of challenges you, the woman, you'd face. But these are just a few that I could mention, or I can mention.
Okay, so before we wrap up, what would you advise your colleagues or people that's actually watching about participating in politics at every level?
Okay, so with regards to what I would like to say, first of all, I would say we should respect ourselves. That's something I hold so dear to my heart, with regards to the respect. But you know yourself, and then you know your standards. Once you put that there, nobody can really intimidate you, or nobody can really mess up your journey. And many women, I would say, have closed down their leadership role, or let's say the strength they had within leadership, because they have been intimidated at a point and then they have relaxed. Others too would look at anything and then they have relaxed. But I feel it's high time women stand on their toes. It's high time women go in for men who are ready to support them. I think that's one thing many young people of late are suffering from. I've met a lot of people who tell me, my boyfriend doesn't like this, and so I won't do it. I ask you, you're one boyfriend. Even though, yes, your boyfriend might marry you or so, but we should go in for men we think support our dreams. It's high time we support our dreams. Having a boyfriend isn't just about somebody who will be having sex with you all the time, or somebody who will be carrying you on motorbike and all. It's not about getting a driver. It doesn't really make much sense. But a guy who is in to push your dreams. And so to be a leader, it's not so difficult to be, because I know men are naturally born leaders. It's just a matter of we getting the energy, we getting the support from far just to keep us going, and then we do that better. And so I would want to push down more on the young people. Let's be mindful of those we are really dating and those we are going in for. Because if the person is not supporting your dreams, trust me, it's going to really be difficult for you to keep doing the better things you could have done for yourself.
Okay, so before we just wrap up, final words.
Final words.
Yeah.
Okay, so final words. I would first of all want to thank the team for the opportunity to share part of, or share a few of the words I know with viewers, and also people who would be listening even if they are not viewing. I know if not for anything, but at least somebody would learn one thing, or somebody would be reminded on something, which I know we most often know. We just need a reminder, and we'll get more of that reminders, and that would keep us going. And so I would like to say thank you to the whole team, like I said, and especially to yourself. You did a good job. So it was very interacting with you, and then all that. And also to all friends, and also for the recommendation, because I know this was a recommendation. When they asked who could do this, somebody recommended me. Although yes, I had a tight schedule, but he was just still on me. I was busy. So I feel that that's one of the things. And as a woman, I would like to still push this on women. As a woman, if you know who you are and what you want to do, men would even recommend you for certain things, because a man recommended me for this. He felt like Jennifer this, and then he brought me on board. And so he knows me, and then he felt I could do that better. Even if I couldn't do that to the best, but at least I could do that better. Yeah. And so my final words, I don't really know what to say again, Krana. Yeah, so thanks so much for the opportunity. And I'm actually urging women to keep standing on their toes. Let's be mindful of the lovers we go in for. It's high time we stand. Find a guy who supports you. And if the guy doesn't support you, please, it's you and you, the two of you are trouble. But just know your limits and then mind how you interact with people as well. Respect yourself and respect everybody. So thank you.
Okay, respect yourself and respect everybody. So I'm giving out the last airtime before I wrap up, and this is Airtel Tigo, and the numbers are 4575660598423881 4575660598423881. So I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that tuned in today and watched the show, and also a very, very big thank you to the technical team before they come for my head because without them the show wouldn't come your way every Friday. And also a very big thank you to Jennifer Tambila, who made time out of her busy schedule to be here with us to have this wonderful conversation, which I'm sure you've picked a thing or two from. And also thanks to our sponsors, that is the Simavi, Gabby's Beauty Parlor and SGS, and also to the entire SAVSIGN TV team. Until we come your way, same time next week, it's bye for now. My name is Rahel, and I was your host for today.